And the countdown continues to the forthcoming Edo and Ondo governorship elections. Let's get some more perspectives on the process so far and expectations.
First of all, I had the privilege of being among those who went to Ondo to conduct the primaries. And I must say, but the major political parties, that's the APC and the PDP, because they're basically the main contendants in the election. They had demonstrated an absolute sportsmanship. It was well organized. There was no record of any violence whatsoever. And my expectation would be that as the general elections is approaching or is about to take place, the both parties also conduct themselves the way they conducted themselves during the primaries. Nigerian democracy has come a long way. Here we are, still growing, and our hope and expectation is that when we reach the zenith of our maturity, we will demonstrate to the rest of the African nations that we are indeed leaders of democracy in Africa. And election for Ondo and Edo is also going to define a moment for us as country, as people, as leaders and giants of Africa, as we have always been referred to us. So for me, for Edo, particularly the credit goes to His Royal Highness, the Oba of Benin, complete gentleman. He showed that the traditional institution is more concerned about the people, not those who are contesting for political offices. As the election is approaching, he called both parties together. He showed them that he's the father to all of them, and then the expectation, just like we expect as well, that they demonstrate, a level of maturity while they go about doing their business. Edo State is the only place that they have, and so therefore, all the sons and daughters of Edo will be expected to go about doing their business peacefully while they participate in the election. And that credit goes to him, irrespective of who wins the Edo State election. The Oba of Benin has made it, clear, and I hope and I pray that they have listened, because this one man that showed that he's not like the rest of the traditional rulers who don't really, they are more partisan in doing their activities. This is the first time we ever saw, before an election, a traditional ruler brought the major contender and give them a proper sign of warning that, look, you will send the gods if they don't care. And you know what will happen eventually. So I'm sure they know his strength and they know his power and they understand where he's coming from, the angle where he's coming from, and that they will also conduct themselves well. But that apart, because I have always been an APC person, I'll be more sympathetic towards APC, and my expectation is that at the end of the day, Pastor Eze Iyamo won the election, so that we can have the Edo of our dream. We thought Obasaki was the godsend, but eventually you cannot buy the fingers that feed you. So 100% we are with Eze Iyamo, and we pray that the election goes peacefully, and at the end of the day, APC is declared winner.
All right.
Same goes to Ondo.
Yeah.
So go ahead. So for Ondo, still towards the build-up of the election, there had been one issue or the other that led the deputy governor to actually move to another party, irrespective. The incumbent is still a family member of the APC, and as part of our duties of party men, we will do everything within our party and our power to make sure that the incumbent Akere 4+4 wins the election. And my expectation, as is the same expectation for Edo, is that both parties conduct themselves peacefully and have a very, credible election.
All right. What's your advice to the electorate themselves in terms of playing their role in the whole process with integrity?
Yes, particularly my constituency in this whole election is the youths, because I am one of them. And because they constituted the largest number of people that will stick their neck out on that very day, my call is directly on them to understand that they have only one life. Any big man who called them out to go and do anything that is not right, they should understand that after the election there is life. And they must conduct themselves well and peacefully. Go out there, cast their vote, and ensure that their votes count, and then at the end of the day, may the best man wins.
All right.
On the most serious note.
Sure. All right. Like I said last week, just give us your assessment of how the 9 senators fared so far in its year plus now.
The Ninth Assembly, for anyone who had witnessed the 8th Assembly, would eventually understand and give you a comparison as to the level of maturity, if I will put it that way. And that particularly is simply because both the executives and the legislatures are on the same path. So I think that is where the credit goes to, because in the previous one, not to say that Saraki did not play his part well, because ideally in a very in a developing democracy like ours, you expect that there is a bit of check and balances, irrespective whether you belong to the same party or you belong to separate parties. You are elected by your people to go out there and represent them and ensure that whatever it is that is theirs is due to them, and what is being done by the executive is properly checked. Saraki did his part, right? But at one point he lost it, and it became a winch hunt kind of a thing. And that is why we say no to it. Otoge. You understand? Now we are having a more peaceful, more organized, and collaborative Federal House of Reps and Senate in the 9th National Assembly, and they have so far conducted themselves excellently well. We haven't seen any major issues between the executive and the legislature. So for me, except some of the individual House of Reps and Senators that need to actually sit on their feet to understand that they are not there to just fill in the space. They are there to make laws on behalf of their constituency and to ensure implementation of that, accurately. So if you are a senator who is there to just sit and fill space, you have no business being there. As we get towards 2023, my expectation is that all those ones will be, voted out, and Nigerians are watching every one of them. As their election approach, I expect that they assess them based on their performance. It's not all about godfatherism. If they perform well, bring them back. If they do not perform well, just like we flushed out and swept out them Saraki and Dino, we should also do the same with the one that we were clapping for now. So, so far, they have done excellently well. There hasn't been any major serious national friction. There has always been collaboration, strategic collaboration all along, but the executives, the judiciary, and the legislation. So far, we haven't recorded anything that will make us feel that we are consigned. You understand? But they need to also stand their feet, fight for the common man. Whatever policy that is being put in place by the president, they need to also look at it. Is it people-friendly? If it is not people-friendly, they don't have to come out and wash their dirty clothes out. The Senate president, whom I respect, and also the Speaker House of Rep, can call or seek the audience of Mr. President on a very well organized, call his attention to issues that are not really welcomed by the people, and then see how the result of their intervention can change, like the increase in fuel price, the tariff, of the electricity. These are major issues that is, after going through Corona, now we're being faced with paying more than. And I understand it's a free economy. Forces of demand and supplies, determine the prices. But this is where basically the business of the government comes in. When you see that the forces of demand and supply is actually putting the ordinary people more on hardship, you then come and interfere. In the past, we've done subsidy for no reason. Now, this is the time. If you have any time whatsoever to justify subsidy, it is now. We had been locked for 3-4 months. The entire world, every single household income dropped. Now, while we just resumed, you just opened the economy, people haven't had much to even eat, let alone even to buy fuel in their tanks and to pay for the electricity. We are having this. So this is an area where I expect that the National Assembly will intervene with the executive peacefully, and then come to a common ground where the Nigerian people interest will be first before any other thing.